Yeah. I'm not going to hear that. Not at all. Not even close. Today we are going to be talking about AirPods. AirPods are really cool. And the reason why is their simplicity. Everything about it is well designed. I mean, you could say that about any Mac or Apple product, but you know, there's something about the way they did this. These AirPods are absolutely the coolest thing. The casing is awesome, but the number one issue that I've run into with these AirPods has to do with either them not connecting right, or worse, one ear cutting out. Look, I'm 51 years old. I don't want to be thinking about any medical, physical, or health problems. So if I can't hear something out of one ear, not good. How do you fix that? I tried everything. Let's say hypothetically that you've got AirPods in your ears and you're happy as a clam and you're listening to music, and suddenly maybe one time you put them in your ear and nothing is coming out of this ear. The way you fix that is you take the AirPods, you get the AirPod holder, you put the AirPods in the holder, just like that. Then, here's the thing that I wasn't aware of. There's this reset button, and I never really gave it much thought. But what you need to do is you need to press and hold the reset button for 15 seconds. You need to press and hold this button right here for 15 seconds. Not 14 seconds, not 10, but 15 seconds straight without interruption. When you do that, you will see this flashing light right here. And basically they have been completely reset, and this will fix the problem with the audio coming out of one ear. How awesome is that? Let's have a bonus tip. Did you know that if you lose your AirPods, which yeah, I've done, now let's say you're in your house or your apartment and you've left them somewhere and you don't know where they are. Maybe they slipped behind the pillow of a couch or something like that. You can actually go on to the Apple website and make them ring, which is really cool. So you go to iCloud, you click on Find iPhone, which is kind of silly because there's a lot more devices now. They really need to rename that as, Find My Devices would make sense. Anyway, and once you sign in, you then see a screen that shows you the location of all your devices. I go to All Devices, I click on AirPods, and it shows me where the AirPods are. Here's the best part. You can click on Play Sound. See if it does it. I'm not hearing anything. And that's the problem. Most of the time when I lose my AirPods, I lose them when they're in the case. For this thing to apparently work, they need to be outside the case, and that's kind of an issue. So let's put them outside the case and see what happens. Nothing so far. Oh. Did you hear that? Okay. I don't know how helpful that. Okay, it sounds like a bunch of crickets. That is not exactly the most noticeable sound in the world. I'll tell you why. I have two kids, okay? Both under the age of 11. I'm not going to hear that tiny little cricket sound. So, not so sure about the Find Your AirPods feature that I just mentioned. So, let's just skip that. Anyway, though, okay, that's really annoying. How do I turn that off? Stop playing. Okay. You know what? If you live by yourself in a small apartment and you've maybe misplaced them and they're not in this case and they're just like loose laying somewhere, you could use the Find My iPods feature in here, but it's not that great. Frankly, the way that the Apple Watch can ring the iPhone, that's very handy. That's awesome. But I guess they couldn't make these things that loud. Obviously, they're for your ears. The one AirPod problem that hasn't gone away is the battery life problem, and that is an issue. Apple Insider just recently tested two different sets of AirPods, a set from 2018 and a set from back in 2016, and they found that the set from 2016 2017 only had 2 hours and 14 minutes, I think it was, of charge time, while the pair from 2018 had the promised 5 hours. So in that 2-year period, they dropped half their charge. That seems like a lot to me. We'll see what happens with AirPods 2 that are coming out promising better battery life. But that's probably the only gripe I have with these is the battery life. I'll tell you though, Samsung is catching up. We'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click that red subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video. That's the sound they make when you're looking for them with Find My iPhone. Hear that? Sounds like a bunch of crickets in your house. Yeah. A busy dad that I am, I'm not going to hear that. Not at all. Not even close. Yeah. All right, you can stop now.